Now that Donald Trump is president-elect and has won a second term in the White House, many are wondering what this means for his legal battles, including his federal cases in D.C. and Florida and civil cases here in New York.
In fact, he's due to be sentenced in his hush money case at the end of the month. Fox 5's Sharon Crowley live in the newsroom with what we know about that. Sharon.
Yeah, Steve and Natasha, President-elect Trump's lawyers are right now fighting to have federal cases dropped and a state conviction tossed out based on a recent Supreme Court ruling giving some presidential immunity. Now, Trump's team hoping that his election victory will mean his legal troubles are behind him.
There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond.
President-elect Donald Trump's victory is historic. He's the first Republican to win the popular vote in decades and the first former president in a century to win power back after defeat. Trump is also the only president-elect in U.S. history to be a convicted felon. But his victory means the federal and state legal cases against him could now be in jeopardy. Special counsel Jack Smith is reportedly evaluating how to wind down the January 6th and classified documents federal cases against Trump. The Justice Department has a long-standing policy that states sitting presidents cannot be prosecuted.
I don't think the president really is going to have any legal problems going forward. These cases are not going to go forward, neither the federal cases nor the state cases against the president.
Trump also has pending legal problems in Georgia and New York. Georgia's election interference case is on hold while Trump's legal team pursues a pretrial appeal. And he was convicted in New York's hush money trial. Sentencing is supposed to take place later this month.
It's a win for his criminal cases, lesser so for his civil cases, but that win extends both in state court in Georgia and the state of New York, as well as those that are pending in the investigations in D.C. and in Florida, the federal cases.
Jeremy Saland is a former prosecutor.
From a practical standpoint, you have state cases while someone is a president-elect and the future president. That's going to supersede, if you will, the pendency of those cases, and at best, maybe until after he's done serving.
New York Attorney General Letitia James brought a civil fraud case against Trump.
We faced this challenge before, and we used the rule of law to fight back.
Well, even as president, Trump has no authority to stop the state criminal or civil cases, and one of those civil cases includes a second defamation case brought against Trump by E. Jean Carroll. I'll send it back to you, Steve, in the studio.
All right. Thanks, Sharon.